going on, everybody out there all across the land? Of course, you're tuned into the number one station on the net, Hotline Radio, the Keith Harris Show, and I am your host, Keith Harris. Now, another extraordinary show for you today, all right? As I am joined by this gentleman. Listen, he's multi-talented, you all. As I said before, he can make you upset. He can make you want to shed a tear, or he can have you falling out of your chair dying laughing as well. All right. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce the actor, multi-talented as I say, actor, producer, comedian. All right. He's done some directing, and now I find out he's a rapper too. So, without any further ado, we'd like to introduce and roll out the red carpet for our special guest on live today, Mr. Brett Hunt. How you doing, Brett? How you doing, my man?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. You there?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Lost you for a second.
Look, it's starting out. It's starting out pretty live and funny already, as a matter of fact. But no, on a serious note though, man, how you doing today, Brett?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing outstanding.
Absolutely, me too, man. Look, you out there on the West Coast?
I am kicking it here in sunny California.
Hey, sunny Cal. Hey, is it what they say? Does it rain? Does it rain in California?
It does on occasion.
Oh yeah, but sometimes not enough.
Sometimes not enough, but we get through it.
Oh, okay. I'm looking for rain out here. I'm looking for some rain out here today. It's pretty cloudy over here on the East Coast, down in good old Carolinas right now. But anyway, look, let's kind of get started. I mean, you're successful. You're successful in the industry, in the entertainment industry, in a few different departments. Okay, and I'm curious to know which one kind of started first, but I guess just in general, let me ask you, where did it all begin? Where did the first foot get into the door in the entertainment industry for you?
Well, I was 6 years old, and there was a local TV show. I'm born and raised in Denver, and so we had this local TV show out there that me, my brother, and a bunch of kids used to watch all the time. And so my grandmother, they had an open thing or whatever, and my grandmother submitted us, and I got to go on the Fun Club show or whatever, the local TV show, and be part of it. And apparently when I got in front of the camera, I don't remember this, but from what I understand, when I got in front of the camera, I kind of hammed it up, and everyone liked it, and we had a great time, and that was it. I was a kid that would sit my family down on couches in the living room and stand on a milk crate and grab like a curtain rod or something and use that as a microphone and sing or dance or tell jokes or just do whatever.
You kind of stole the show. That was
kind of the bug right there is when it bit.
Yeah, so basically you were still in the show at a young age then.
Well, yeah. At 10 years old, I discovered this wonderful thing called magic shops. And so I would spend my lunch money. I wouldn't eat lunch at school. I'd go to the magic shop afterwards and spend my lunch money on like magic tricks and learning new stuff. And it's funny because my grandmother used to work at Safeway, and she was she'd done every job at Safeway you could do, including store manager. She'd been with Safeway for 35 plus years. Right. So she'd bring these like those bulk bags of candy home. You can go get bulk candy and stick it in a bag and whatever, right?
Right.
And I used to sneak a bunch of that from her and take it to school and sell it for like 5 cents a piece of candy or whatever.
Yeah.
So I took that money and then started using that for the magic tricks because missing lunch was not gonna that was gonna have it for me. So and then 14 years old, I got my first professional paying magic gig. So I was a professional magician by the time I was 14.
Wow. Now. Yeah. Were you able to pull the rabbits out the hat at that age, or was it just kind of making coins?
No, I would take a rabbit and stick it in a box and make it vanish and bring it back. And I think I had my first real, what would get termed as a dangerous trick. I think it was about 14. I actually got it. It was called the torch through the head. And so the trick was basically I would put this box on somebody's head. Uh-huh. This torch and stick it right through the middle of the box and then open the box and show that their head had vanished and the torch was in there. So,
That's exciting. And you know what? As bad as I want to know, I don't even want to ask on the show because that
You
sounds.
know, it wouldn't have done you any good to ask me anyway, because I wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That makes sense. That makes sense because that's one. That's one for the future. Somebody be on here listening, like,
Well,
okay.
all those magicians out there that have seen that trick know what I'm talking about. They're like,
Uh,
oh yeah, I remember that.
uh-huh. You don't look. You don't want to start getting the hate mail from all the magicians. Brett, the hell
Nah,
you doing? Why'd you
what?
tell that trick?
I
Uh,
know, right?
but you know what? But you took it abroad as well because you were doing you also did. I think you did your magic in Hong Kong, in Thailand too.
I went to at 17. I knew joining the military was kind of a thing I had to do. We've had my family's a big, long military family. I mean, we've had members of the military in our family since like the Revolutionary War.
Right.
And so when I got 17, I started thinking about it when I was probably 15 years old.
Right.
And when I turned 17, I joined the Navy Reserves. And did that for a couple of years, got out of high school, started college, and then I decided I wanted to go active duty just to serve some time and get done and, and get the college benefits. And so I enlisted to active duty, and they gave me my choice of where I wanted to go. And I said, well, let me go to Japan, because I'd never been, and I always wanted to go overseas. And Japan, I had a fascination for it.
Right.
So I went over to Japan, was stationed over there for 6 years. And obviously you can, take the kid out of magic. You just can't take the magic out of the kid.
Yeah.
So I started doing magic. I started doing birthday parties, and then I got picked up by the MWR, which is the Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. They picked me up, and I started doing magic at the clubs. And then a friend of mine who was an American who lived over there, he was an American magician who lived over there. Him and I hooked up a couple times, and we talked about different things. He set me up with his agent. And so then I started doing that out in town. And at one point, I was making more money doing magic than I was in the military with all the housing allowance and overseas allowances and basically all the money that they were paying me to be in Japan. I was making more money in doing magic than I was in the military. So,
wow.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. I was teaching at the rec center, the kids. I was teaching magic to kids. And It was a great time. I was doing that.
Well,
so when I got out of the military, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, doing that, did you have to already kind of know the language there? Because I know that. Okay.
No, I actually, the translator helped me. I knew some of the language, but I had a translator, and a lot of effects I would do out in town, off the base, off the military installations. I did visual effects, so we could see the visual effects.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I got out of the military, because I got out of the military to pursue magic full time up in Seattle, and that's when I did the tour. I had negotiated some stuff prior to me leaving with the military hotel over there, the New Sauna Hotel, and some of the military installations. And so they got me in touch with the USO. We put together a contract, and I took a huge illusion show overseas. We hit Hong Kong, Thailand, Korea, Japan, the Philippines. So, I mean, we did this huge tour overseas, and it was pretty amazing. It was pretty awesome. We sold out, they did it as a dinner magic show type thing. So they sold tickets for the dinner and everything, and we sold out every night that I was, wherever I was at, we sold out almost every one of those venues. And then when that finished, I came back for a few months, and then I went back over again to do some close-up stuff. So basically it was in Japan. I was there for a month, and I was doing close-up magic at all the clubs and bars throughout the military bases throughout Japan.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went back twice and did another one. So it's fun.
You've been living. I guess it's safe to say you were living, even at an early age, you were living a pretty fulfilled life. I mean, you were on the go. You were doing things. You were traveling. You're learning, obviously, in the process too.
I'm one of those guys. There's some of us out there. I've met another couple others. We're the kind of folks that say, "Hey, this looks like fun. Let's go do this," and we just go do it.
Hey, that's a great way to live though. Because when you do it like that, then you just don't know what type of opportunities you're going to run into or what doors open for you. And if you're for somebody as creative like yourself, like the possibilities are endless. I mean, because listen, for everybody out there listening right now, we're just talking about we're talking about magic shows and things like that. But I was going to get into this later, but I'll get into this now. This gentleman has quite a few degrees. Brett, where do you find it? Yeah, man. Look, hold on. I'm gonna give a few. I'll run out of breath before I finish. Okay.
You gonna start from the smallest to the largest, or how are you gonna do it?
I could jump around. I mean, it don't even matter. Okay. Doctorate of divinity. Okay.
Okay, go ahead, and I'll clarify all these if I do. Yeah.
Okay, well, still the BS in business, BS in metaphysics. Okay. Okay, let's see what else. You lecture, you give lectures. A master's in finance. That's always a good one to have. Okay. And I'll slow down because I lose my spot trying to keep up with them. Okay.
I'll go through the degrees with you. I have an associate's degree in film production. I have a bachelor's in business. I have a master's in finance, and I have a PhD in metaphysical science.
And you know how to hypnotize people.
I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist.
Right.
As well as an NLP, a neuro logistics programmer trainer. I can train people on how to do NLP training. And I'm a certified quantum jumper teacher and trainer.
Look, Brett. Where did it?
What? I told you, I'm one of those guys that says, this looks fun, let's try this.
How you do all that? How did you pull all that off between doing magic shows and stand-up and film? What do you find?
Well, so my bachelor's degree and my master's came through the military. When you're in the military, you get free education. They give you free college.
Right.
And so I was one of those folks that took advantage of that. So I was either in class, or I was working my military job, or I was performing, or I was working on new stuff. I mean, I was always busy doing something, so I always kept busy. I wasn't a lot on time and just sitting around watching TV.
Hey.
And because I knew that my education was going to be important, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I just said, I kind of got the bachelor's degree from my mom and my grandmother because they were always, well, what if this doesn't work out? I mean, any entertainers heard this from their parents.
That's
what if
right.
it doesn't work out? And so I got it for that. And then the master's degree was just kind of an addition to that because it was there. And I said, the master's program was there. And I said, well, why not? I'll just finish it out. I went back to school after a while, only probably about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, and got my associates in film production. It was probably about 2006, 2007 when I got that. Right. And mainly because I wanted to learn more about the production side of film. I'd done acting and stuff, and I'd done all that kind of thing, and I hadn't really started being an actor or a stand-up comedian professionally, but that was about the time that was coming around. So I wanted to kind of get some education on the production side of things, and so I wanted to learn a little bit about that.
Wow.
And it was probably 2010 or 9, I guess. I thought I was going to write a book, and so I figured I needed a PhD to do that because, always better to have a book with a doctor in front of your name or whatever, so I went back on. Got my doctorate at a theological college, and that's what got me started on the metaphysical science stuff and all the quantum jumping and hypnotherapy is because I started learning about the law of attraction and how that affects people, and I started really, really understanding how all that came about. And so that's where all that kind of came about.
Well,
so, yeah.
Look, way to go. That's all I can say. Way to go. You took that time, you did, you used it, you utilized it. Now, you having a variety and being in different, having so much going on. Do you feel like that helps you, when you act? Because you can, you've been to different places, you've dealt with different people, you've tried different foods. You just know how to go so many different angles. Do you think that helps with your acting?
I think it does. I think that, I can play a lot of different roles because of my background, which is kind of ironic because I've been a firefighter in the ED. I was in two branches of the military. I was in the Navy and I was in the Army. I hold I hold expert marksmen with rifles and weapons, and I have combat training. I have combat training for the screen. I have all this. I've been a reserve police officer, and never once been half in any of those roles.
Man, yo, but see, that's what got me too. Because again, I read that too, and again, I'm sure everybody. I speak for so many others out there too, and saying thank you for your services.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, that you've done. Armed forces, as you say, firemen, police officers, just so many different angles. And you're right though. You have not done any of those roles. And you look.
I have yet to play a soldier or a military person. I have yet to play a police officer or a firefighter.
Well, you know what? You're good though, and I have. You're right, but see that shows how good you are. Now, I did see you in I believe it was a Navy uniform on one particular clip. I think that's probably about as close as you got to the things you just mentioned.
That was I know what you're talking about. It's where I was a Navy lawyer, kind of a jig thing.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to help someone with their demo reel, and it was a military demo reel, and I guess it wasn't credited or anything. It was just kind of a clip that I got to keep.
Right.
And that was it. I got to put on a. By the way, if you go back and look at that and look at the ribbons on my chest, those are my actual ribbons.
Oh, it looked. You know what? I never. That's why. I guess that's why when people look at it, they never even second guess that. Wow, so you got the ribbons too. Are you able? Heroics. Well, I guess I should ask. I don't know much about the different ranks, but can you talk about the ribbons?
I can.
Sure.
What do you want to know?
What ribbons? What do they? What do they mean for? Like, what did those medals represent? I guess forgive me for not wording it correctly because I don't really know how to put it. You know what I'm saying? But I guess I should just say congratulations and salute.
Well, it all depends. Everything has a different meaning. I can tell you, kind of what everything means or what it is put together, kind of deal.
Right.
But basically, in my case, I have a Navy rifle and a Navy pistol, marksmanship weapons with E's on them, which are experts, which means I hold an expert in pistol and rifle.
Wow.
I have this. I'm sorry.
I said wow.
This is going to date me a little bit, so here we go.
Right.
I have a Kuwait Liberation Medal. I have from Saudi Arabia and the one from Kuwait. Those were awarded in the first Gulf conflict. I have an overseas ribbon, which means I was stationed overseas. I have a sea service ribbon for the Navy Reserves. Sea service ribbon deployment for the Navy. I have 3 stars in that one, I think, which means I have 4 years of service on sea service.
Right. I
have a humanitarian service medal. Our ship got that when we helped Mount Pinatubo evacuate. So we got that. I have a War on Terrorism Service Medal and a War on Terrorism Expeditionary. Those are 2 different ones based on where you were when we went into we started the War on Terror in 2001, 2002, 2003, and on. Because I was deployed twice, once to the U.S. and once overseas. I got one of each because I was in both places. The Southwest Asia Medal is for service over in the Middle Eastish area. Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal. National Defense. Most people in the military have at least one of those. I have 2 because I was in 2 Gulf conflicts, so we have 2 of those. Navy Reserve Merit Service, which means I have good conduct in Navy Reserves. Good conduct Navy Medal, which is basically I was a good kid and I didn't do anything stupid.
Right.
The Battle E I got, it's a Navy E ribbon, it's a Battle E. It's basically our ship got a Battle E in some war games, and so we won that ribbon for that. I have 2 Navy Meritorious Unit commendations for various things. I have 2 Navy unit commendations. I have a Joint Meritorious Unit Award, which is we did joint forces with the Army Navy, so I got an award for that. I have 2 Navy Achievement Medals, which is a personal award that the Navy has given me. for 2 different things that I did that was above and beyond, and a combat action unit.
Oh man.
So those are what I got.
Wow. And you know what?
It's a lot.
Well, let me salute. First of all, and looking at that though, you just named off a lot of medals. All those medals weren't in they weren't in that one particular clip, were they? Or did?
No, that was through my entire career.
Yeah. Wow. Now, let me ask you this.
I also hold 2 badges in the military, in the Navy. So anyone in the Navy knows what these are. I held the aviation warfare badge and I held the surface warfare badge.
Right.
So I held both of those.
Now, listen, we're doing so much. I mean, just having accomplished so many things, and I know that there's much more. I know that you got so many other things in plan to do, but
a few.
yeah, I can imagine. But with having done so much so far, listen, at this point in life, you're kind of just doing what you want to do. You're just kind of taking it easy. Like you're not stressing to do anything at this point, right, Brett?
Actually, I've been thinking of going back to school and getting a law degree. But other than that,
well, that's what I'm saying. Well, you already got one of those, don't you?
No, I got accepted to law school, but I never actually went and got my law degree. I was actually thinking of just getting like a paralegal type of degree, just because I'm bored.
Hey, you know what?
And I'm not really. The thing is, I'm not really bored, which is really kind of odd.
You cannot be bored.
The reason I was thinking about going back to school is because no, I'm not. So I don't like wasting money. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have about 18 months of my GI Bill left, so I still have like a free education benefit from my GI Bill, which basically covers my cost of college, covers my books, tuitions, and everything, and gives me a stipend. And so I'm kind of thinking I should go back to school to use that.
Hey.
Because if I don't use it by a certain time, then it goes away, and I never get to use it.
You know what? I'm all with you on that one, Brett. Go ahead and use that.
Yeah. So the reason I was thinking of maybe going back to school just to get a degree, like my paralegal degree for that.
Right.
So,
wow. Holy cow. Well, hey, I say do it. Because again, like you say, I mean, you know, you get that other degree under your belt, you might as well get that stipend money. Okay? I mean, you know. Now look, okay.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about mangled. Let's kind of switch the pace a little bit. Let's talk about mangled angels. Okay, let's get to the
Okay.
Right. So tell us.
So let's lead into that. How's that? How do I? So
Gingerbread. Can I call you?
Based on what just happened out of Cannes in France. So how do I want to lead? Should we lead into this?
Hey.
Well, what do you want to know about mangled angels? I guess we'll start with that.
Okay, I guess we'll lead into it. Look, hey, I was getting ready to just call you character name, just call you the Gingerbread Man, and
okay,
just go in there. Okay, well, just I guess we'll keep it, just basic. I mean, a bit about what the film was about, I suppose, and your role.
Well, it's in pre-production. It's in pre-production right now.
Right. Without giving too much away.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say without giving too much away. I don't want to, trap you there. You hear me?
Oh, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Mangled Angels is Mangled Angels is a project that I've had for 8 years, 8 or 9 years, I guess. And it kind of came into my life about 2006. Basically, you can go on the internet and you can look at some of the history of it. The movie is based on a true story that happened back in the day, about 2006, about 8 or 9 years ago, about a serial killer who thought he could talk to God by creating angels, all because of a quote he saw by St. de Sales. And the quote is, "Since God sends us messages via his angels, we should often return such aspirations via the same messengers."
Okay.
Basically, since God sends us messages via angels, we should return messages to God via the same angels, right? So a serial killer thinks he can talk to God by creating angels, and the way you create angels is by releasing the soul from the body.
Oh. Wow, okay? I'm just taking this in. I'm just taking it in.
Take it in.
Yeah.
So during the year that and the serial knew. I mean, he knew that he was the one that could talk to God, and so he documented everything on the internet. So the diary entries, the videos, the pictures, everything went on the internet. People subscribed to this, and when it was a live site, there was thousands, tens, and hundreds of thousands of people that hit that site all the time.
Wow.
Okay, and the site went dark about a year after it went up, and no one knows what happened to it. The site's kind of, nobody knows.
What?
Okay. Well,
you
the
mean
movie? So yeah. Matter of fact, if you go to mangledangels.com, I don't know if you can go to it yet or not, but there was at one point, Angels.com had an FBI logo on it that said under investigation by the Cyber Crimes Division. So
get out of here. Okay, look, I didn't know when I asked that question. Now I see why you know. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought the title was very interesting. That's what I thought. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And it sounds like
it's a good movie. The script is complete. We've seen it. So we have the final version of the script. It's really good. It takes place there's 4 movies to the franchise. It can lead into more, but right now we're locking it at 4.
wow.
And the first one describes what happened and what came about and what's gone with it and that kind of thing. We were fortunate enough to get. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but and if we could talk about it, because again, by being so touchy, because you don't, and I guess you can't say but so much, I suppose, but
I can say some things. What do you want to know?
Okay, and you don't even know what happened to the website. Or you do, but it's not really for you to put out there necessarily. I kind of get it. I get it. But that's I get it. That's an interesting plot, though. Storyline that I don't think anyone that I've ever recognized has really ever thought about. And you've almost kind of seen and heard it all, but I don't think anybody has ever came up with that reverse vision or scenario of people on Earth creating angels. If this guy was an earthling, you know what I mean, to talk to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't recall seeing something quite like that. And I don't know you came up with that?
The original creator. Well, I had to figure out a way to put it into a movie format based on the true story and true events that happened. So I'm the one that actually came up with the story and put it into the movie concept so it could be a movie. But some of the original stuff that we got together with came from one of my best friends at the time, Robert Haynes, and another friend of ours, Aaron. And those were the 3 of us that kind of were investigating and looking at it back in the day. And I was the one that came up with the story idea on how to put it into a movie.
Oh, okay. I am totally following on board now. So this came from true events, and you were pretty much building a story. Now that's deep. That is deep, Brett. That's pretty serious, right there.
Yeah, we were following what was going on back then, and we were watching it. So.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's interesting. Yep. That's something look. You got me stoked. I'm gonna try to go look that up myself now. That's something new. I'm always trying to find out, or not trying to find out, but just interested and curious, in things, within that. Within that realm, and so I'm gonna definitely check that out. Hopefully you get to work on that again. If you could get the chance.
We actually got pre-production. We got some money funded and stuff, so we're signing contracts and finishing that up next week, I think. And we're in pre-production now, so we'll be actually in production within the next probably, I'm hoping, 6 weeks. Okay. We were fortunate enough to get a buddy of mine, Jimmy Duvall from Donnie Darko and Independence Day.
Okay.
He's actually coming on board, and he's playing our prophet. He'll be playing our serial killer for us.
This is going to be good right here. Yeah, I can see this one with a lot of,
It's really awesome.
after look, the conspiracy theories are gonna come out. This is gonna touch. Yeah, it. This is gonna touch on a lot of different sides. You're gonna have the conspiracy theories. Then there's gonna be those people who are gonna hit the religions, side of things, and then there are gonna be those people who just are enjoying a great movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
And then, of course, this is basically what people ask me. They're like, what is this genre? What does it remind you of? And I say, basically, this is a movie called, this is what Silence of the Lambs meeting Seven would look like.
oh man, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Look, that's overboard right there. It was like in a good way, but wow, holy moly.
Mm-hmm.
So well then, okay, so now we'll go to another one, and I bring these up because these are some productions. I'll go into the acting in a bit, but God Sins. I'm just going for the titles that kind of get to me. God,
God Sins was a short. You're going to actually see a version of God Sins in Mangled Angels 2, Revenge. It's in the second Mangled Angels 2. So you'll see a version of that in that. Basically, it's a short that I had someone write for me. It was my idea, and I had him write a short to put together a collection of shorts, or mini movies as they are, because now mini movies are kind of the newest thing.
right.
So, and what I did was I wanted to produce these in order to, it's part of the demo project, which is the big overall thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the demo project originally started about a year ago with me deciding I wanted to produce my own demo. And then as it kind of manifested, it grew into something much larger than what I could have ever expected, and any of us could have ever expected. I watched demo reels for several months, looking at the good, the bad, the ugly, and I'd watch them all the way through, whether they were good or not. And I came to the conclusion that demo reels were good based on one very important underlying factor, and it was there a story in that short scene that I could disseminate and pick up quickly on? Okay?
Right.
So everyone that I liked, that I keep watching the new scenes on the demo reel over and over and just kind of see the next scene and see the next scene, whether it was the same movie or not, there was always a story, and you knew what the story was within like 4 or 5 seconds of walking into it. Okay? You could tell there was something going on.
Right.
So I decided, instead of just creating a bunch of scenes where there was no story surrounding it, I said, let me create a bunch of mini movies or shorts, things that were 5-10 minutes long that actually told a story with a beginning, middle, and an end, all the way through. And then what I can do is I can cut those into pieces and create a demo reel.
Okay.
So I started doing that, and I realized that there was more that I could offer here. So when I cast my actors and actresses, the deal with them was I was going to make this a SAG New Media project, so we could tap-target them and get them eligible for SAG if they wanted to join the union.
Nice.
I also wanted to give them IMDb credit. I also wanted to give them a scene for their demo reel so they could use it for theirs if they wanted, for free, so they didn't have to go buy it. Because demo reels in this town are hard. People are struggling with demo reels put together. They do student films and they do all this stuff. And sometimes they get the footage, sometimes they don't.
Right.
And I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to make sure my actors and actresses were set and ready. I hired different directors to direct so we could give them some, flexibility. And it turned out that one of the things I started doing was I started seeing that these were actually really good, and I might want to turn one of these into a feature-length movie. Mm-hmm. So I decided to do is, all right, well, let's promote this. This is kind of cool. Let's promote this project. Let's promote all this. So we did a survey, 90-day survey from January to March, and whoever had the most votes at the end of that 90 days was the movie that I was going to find a full-length feature script for, and that's what we were going to do, and we were going to turn it into a full-length feature.
Wow.
Well, obviously a bunch of actors and directors and everyone jumped on board. We're promoting it, and in the end, the movie Tough Love was the one that won with Adria Janine.
Man.
A wonderful, talented actress who beats me up and whatever. If you see it, she kind of she clicks and goes crazy, and it's a great scene. It kind of reminds me a lot of Silver Linings Playbook. But
I saw that happen to you a couple times, Brett. So you know,
Oh yeah.
one.
So
Is it the one where you get where is it the
she's
one
all
where?
seductive, and I made noodles. The one where I make
Right.
noodles.
Yeah, and she had that big old knife, getting ready to
A
chop
knife
you
and
up.
a gun, and it's one of those kind of funny ones. You just like, where did that come from?
Man.
But yeah, and so that one won the 98 challenge. So we're actually working and developing the script for that right now.
I can see that one. Just, yeah.
But what I did with these is I said, all right, well, since we have shorts, right, why don't we submit them to festivals and see what happens? Why not, right? What's the worst that can happen? So we submitted them to the Fantastic Horror Festival. We submitted to the Mexican International Film Festival, I think, or Mexico International Film Festival.
Yeah.
We submitted it to Monaco International Film Festival.
Right.
And Sundance is opening. We're going to get them to Sundance. And we have a couple others we're submitting to. I think there's one up north of Seattle International Film Festival and one in New York, the Tribeca one, I think.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to be submitting. Monaco was the first film festival we got into. Okay? And all 6 of them got into Monaco, which really surprised me. I thought maybe 1 or 2 would. All 6 were accepted.
Wow.
Which was really kind of cool. And then what happened out of that was we got nominations. So God Sins actually got nominated. Well, actually, it wasn't God Sins. It was Purple Flowers that got nominated for Best Short. Okay? Mm-hmm. And Estefania, who's in God, was nominated for Best Actress, and I got nominated for Best Actor. We went over to Monaco, and while we were there, the jury, who hadn't seen all of my shorts yet, was able to watch all the shorts. And it turned out that God Sins, actually, which was not nominated, but was the jury selection, got picked up and won Best Short.
And hadn't been, and so you're saying
it hadn't been nominated because the jury hadn't seen all of them yet. And when they saw it, they said that's the best one they liked.
Wow.
The funny part of that is Estefania took Best Actress because of that. And then for Black Orchid, the black and white gangster one, I took Best Actor. So we came out with Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Short from Monaco Film Festival this year.
Okay, yeah, because I had saw all of those films down there. I didn't know that those were all you guys' projects. I just kind of, you know, figured that you were, were in them. Wow, that's amazing to just get everything in.
Then we went to Cannes, because Cannes was the next day. After Monaco finished, Cannes started the next day. So we went to Cannes, and some of the distributors and producers over there had already seen what was going on, and they'd seen the Monaco stuff and whatever. Yeah. So when we were walking around and enjoying and having a great time, we were talking to them and having meetings with distributors. Right. And something that hardly ever happens is people can make shorts, and if you're listening, I encourage you to make shorts if you want to. Mm. That thing you hear where people go, shorts are never picked up and never turned into features, I heard that the whole time I was doing this project, and I heard it a lot. Right. So, obviously my expectations were, hey, I may or may not never make a feature out of them. Right. Well, I'm telling you that that's wrong. You just got to be in the right place and find the right people that want it, because Purple Flowers, our war film, is now the script is being developed right now, picked up from a distributor, to be turned into a feature. Wow. Black Orchid, the gangster mob movie, got picked up to be a feature. So we're actually working on the script for that right now. Godwin got brought into Mangled Angels 2, Revenge. And so that'll be a piece of that scene is going to be in Mangled Angels 2, a little different, but sort of the same idea of the scene. Mm-hmm. So 3 of my shorts out of 6 are now being turned into features.
Wow. There you go.
For all you out there listening, keep making your shorts.
That's right. Let me ask you a question too. I need some advice on it, because I had started, me and my team had started, we decided we're going to do some little shorts or webisodes or something of the sort. What is the minimum? Or I know people have different minimums, but what is your suggestion of the minimum length to make any short or just any kind of quick webisode? Should it at least be 3 to 4 or 5 minutes, or?
Who cares?
Okay. Because I did one day that was like 30, I don't know, maybe a minute, and I'm wondering, is that enough? It was good, but it was only a minute. Huh?
Let's take a look. God Sins is 5 minutes and 55 seconds. Okay?
Okay.
That's one that's turned to a movie. It's in Mangled Angels 2, or the scene is going to be in Mangled Angels 2. Purple Flowers, which is being turned into the war movie. That's 4 minutes. And then Black Orchid, the lobster movie,
Right.
is the lowest, it's the shortest film I have under that project. It's 2 minutes, 17 seconds. And yet, that's being turned into a full feature-length movie.
Oh.
So there's, make it. If it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes,
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
Okay. Just as long as it's a good idea. Well, that's inspiring to know. And you know, for everybody out there, all you people out there listening who have thought about doing this, you know, it's okay. Take those small scenes, take time, put them together, or have a good story first, I should say. But then
Have a good story.
Yeah, have a good story, and then you know, just kind of piece them together. It still works, and later on down the line, next thing you know, you put all that footage together, and wada bing, wada bang, look at what you have.
Yeah, I mean, if your story has the beginning, middle, and end, and it's enticing, and people will watch it over and over again, then there's a very real potential for a feature film out of that. Okay. Indeed. Now, don't expect that someone's just going to hand you a check for $500,000 and say, "Oh yeah, here, I love your short. I'm going to buy it from you." Okay, because that's not the way our short became features. I'm still very much involved in the production of them. Still very much involved in getting them scripted and putting them together. So I mean, no one just handed me a check and said I'm buying them. It was a lot of negotiation of, well, you need to help produce it, you need to be part of it, you need to do this, and it all became a big.
That's right.
Big picture versus a small picture.
That's right. It, you know, because you like you say, you do those negotiations, but at the same time, it still, you know, in some situations, it still puts you to work because you're the one who knows how to do it. It's your vision, you know.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people that were, you know, they make a script or they make a movie, a short, and they're like, okay, well, now I'm done. Man, that was a lot of work to put that together. Well, yeah, it was. And then they're going, well, someone's going to buy it, and that's where kind of the fall comes, because, you know, someone's not going to just buy it from you. They want to, you know, put it to work. They want to see what's going on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. They, you know, they get stuck with the script on their desk, and they're like, okay, well, who's going to put this together now? And, you know.
Exactly.
Right, and all that. Now, let's talk about this rapping for a second, okay?
About what?
So, let's talk about. Were you serious when you said you're a rapper too? Because you're good at comedy now.
Yes, I'm serious. I'm a rapper.
Okay, so now let's talk about that then. So how long have you been rapping? You know, or when?
Okay, so I've been a singer for a long time. I don't pursue it as a profession.
Uh-huh.
I happened to be working with someone. They were recording one of their songs or whatever, and I was kind of beatboxing because I had learned. I actually took lessons on how to beatbox a long time ago.
Okay.
So I was kind of beatboxing with them and having a good time, and they're like, "Hey, can you spit anything out or whatever?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. You know, I can't do that. Maybe I don't know." You know, I said, "We'll try." So we kind of were messing around.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what I said. It was just kind of a quick boom, bada boom, boom, bada boom, 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 bada boom type of deal. That was kind of how the rhythm went. And wow, dude, that was sick. Let's lay that down. So we laid it down, and they tried to put it in their little mix or whatever, and it became like the hook for what they were looking for.
Right.
And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And I had written some songs. I mean, I have tons of songs wrote. I just wrote them like that style.
Yeah.
And then the producer was like, dude, you should, you know, let's see what kind of lyrics you got. Let's see what you got. Maybe there's something there. So we sat down and we kind of went through some of my stuff. And Lightning was one of the ones that I worked on with a friend of mine a long time ago. Him and I put it together, and then we had a falling out and whatever, so I ended up changing a lot of the lyrics to fit more for me.
Right.
And so I showed him that, and he's like, well, let's lay it down. And so they laid it down. He put a beat to it and laid down the music. And next thing I know, I'm in the studio recording this song and rapping to it.
And there you
go. And it turned out pretty well. And I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. So that was my first real recorded, you know, number. And then so people started to say, well, you're a rapper at that point. Shortly thereafter, a friend of mine who's a very talented singer, I mean, she's an amazing singer, her and I were joking around about together an a cappella or a rapapella group together. And so we sat down, we kind of went through it, and we decided that we were going to start an a cappella group And so we're actually casting the last 4 members of our group at this point, and it's kind of one of my other projects I'm working on. And we're kind of using it as a reality show. We're actually taping what we're doing and all the casting and how we go through everything and doing whatever we're doing.
You know what?
But yeah, so there's an acapella group, and I beatbox and I rap and I sing, and so yeah.
And I tell you what, congratulations on that too. You know, because you're in a win-win-win situation with that one. You know, not only. Go ahead.
It became legit.
Yeah.
I knew I was a legit rapper when I was performing at the Faces of the USA tour a couple of years ago. I did 2 cover songs, and I did my original. And a couple of people are in the audience, and they're like, "Hey, you know, you're really good, and we think, you know, your performance was dope, you know, because I've been performing since I've been a kid. So I mean, getting on stage is nothing."
Right.
And so I know that I could suck singing, but as long as the performance is good, everyone will love it.
Hey, you know what? There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that going on.
Well, there is.
You
but
right.
They were from the LA Music Awards.
Yeah. Wow.
And next thing I know, I got nominated for Producer Choice of Rap Performer of the Year and Breakthrough Rapper of the Year, something like that. And I ended up winning Breakthrough Rap Performer of the Year.
Congratulations.
At the LA Music Awards. So that was kind of that legitimized it. I was like, man, I'm legit.
Hey, you know what? That certifies it right there, Brett.
Right?
look, I was gonna say, when you start getting awards for it, so you can talk about it. When you getting awards for it, it's over now. Can't nobody tell you nothing. And you know,
that's true.
And you know, like as I was, you know, kind of pointing out before, that's also good, just in general, because you know it's good for the purposes of the band. You guys have an outlet. You're making good music. You love what you do. Also, that means that you guys can make scores for your films too, right?
Yeah, I could turn my songs into lyrics for a film. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
If I wanted to, yeah.
Yeah. Now, you know, and here's the thing about that, because I notice a lot of times people who do music and they make films, I say that to them, and I'll say, well, you know, that's cool because you can make scores. Now, me on the outside looking in, I'll be jumping up and down. I'm like, yeah, you know, I can make my own music, but is that something that you end up really becoming interested in when you're on both sides, or would you just kind of stick to the acting and you rather let other people work on the scores?
I'm an actor producer first, a comedian third, and a rapper fourth. Like the order in which I introduce myself to people is pretty much that. That's it.
Right.
Actor first, producer second. The reality show that we're doing with the acapella group is just something fun, and I mean, we actually have a network to put it on now if we decide we want to go that far with this. It was kind of me and my friend Kim, who I've performed with on stage several times, and we've done all the duet stuff. We're like, let's create it. I mean, it was really, we were at karaoke one night, I think, and we were drinking beers, and we're just like, I started an acapella group, and it was kind of, that was the whole decision making to that. We're like, okay, that sounds great. Yeah, cool. Well, first 2 members of the group, yay, and that was it. We were off and running. And so we just kind of, and we've performed together a couple times now live, and it's been really fun. And so I like to stay busy in entertainment. So if I'm not working on a project or working on something else, then I always, I want to do something. And so this kind of came up, and then, you know, the whole idea of putting a reality show together around it and showing how acapella groups come together and the audition process and the rehearsal and the dancing and all that stuff. Really just that's kind of how that all came about. And we're not really an acapella, it's more of a rapapella, because we do a lot of modern songs and things and stuff like that.
I'm going to be looking
and we're both big fans of acapella. So, I mean, Pentatonics and Urban Method and all those guys, I mean, we're huge fans of acapella because it's just, I mean, I think it's sick and amazing. So some of those guys are way better than I am.
I'm looking forward to this to the reality show. I hope you guys go ahead and get that taken care of and wrapped up soon. I'm gonna be looking forward to that. And you all are good. It'll be about you guys as a band, or about these band members and just what you're going through to try to. Yeah, that's gonna be a great one.
Yeah. We may just make the sizzle reel or make the pilot and be done and say, here, we did this, it's cool, here's kind of our thing. But we don't know yet. We're still we're still in the phase of trying to find other singers because we need to have 6 in our group.
Okay.
And we want at least 2 more that can beatbox and rap and, kind of do some really, yeah. We just need a couple more that can really hit.
I could see this being different and, fresh, new. It's still catchy. It's what people like to see, but it has its own twist to it, and I think that's really important too.
Yeah, and I don't want to be the only one in the group that raps, so.
Or beatbox. A lot of people can't beatbox.
Or beatbox. Beatbox is actually easy. I can actually teach someone some basic beatbox stuff. It's not that hard.
I came from.
I don't think it's that hard, but I mean, I taught Kim some basics. Kim, she didn't know how to do it. I taught her the basic stuff.
Well, if you taught her, because a lot of people, even myself, you know what I'm saying. I'm from a hip hop era, and quite honestly, man, I tried to beatbox the last couple of days. I'm doing my show, and I just don't have it no more, Brett.
Yeah, no, you got it.
I don't have. So
I'll teach you how to do it right now.
All right. We'll do that off the show, or we'll make that another segment.
Oh no! You brought this up. You should follow. You should do it right now. If you want to learn how to do it, I'll teach you the basics.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Go ahead. I can't turn down. This is Keith.Harris show. I can't turn it down.
You'll love it. All right,
let's go.
Here's the basics. This is the first thing I ever learned when I learned how to beatbox. All right, from a professional beatboxer. First thing I ever learned. And you just say cats.
You said say caps?
Cats. Like a kitten, cats.
Oh, cats. Okay.
Yeah, cats. All right. Say cats and boots.
Cat and boots.
Cats, not cat. Cats, multiple. Cats and boots.
Okay, with the S on the end.
Yes.
Okay. Cats and boots.
Now say it together. Cats and boots.
Cats and boots.
Now say it again, over and over again.
Cats and boots, cats and boots, cats and boots, cats and boots.
Now put a rhythm to it. Ready? Cats and boots, 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 and cats and boots, and cats and boots, and cats and boots, cats and boots, cats and boots. Oh, okay. Oh, I see where you're going. Basic understanding of beatbox. There's the basic right there.
I saw where you was going. You know what? Right at the end, I caught where you was going with that, and I could see it because I started to hear the beatbox coming in right then. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. There you go. Cats and poos, cats and poos, cats, poos, cat.
Now what you do is as you're doing cats and boots.
Yeah.
Your mouth will just kind of do that. Add something from your mouth, because your mouth, you can do that through your teeth. Cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots, 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 and you can just change the rhythm of your voice.
Man, I tell you what, yo. You know what I like? Everybody out there, that was a good, listen, that was a lesson right there. I'm going to tell you something. No, really though, because look, I grew up on hip hop music, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I can actually sit here and say, wow, like this is where we're at. And so I applaud that because this is where we're at. Like I had never heard it quite put. Listen, for all y'all out there who want to learn how to beatbox, that's a good lesson. Get in touch with Brett because I'm going to vouch myself and say that was official right there. That was official, man. I'm gonna be in here tonight, cats and boots, and you know what I'm saying? Because look, I know how to do it. I was in the old, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. When I was younger, my lips could do it.
You ready for this? Yeah. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
We're gonna take this to the next step. I need you to do me a favor. Go ahead and use the cats and boots kind of rhythm there, and give me a beat. Give me a rhythm to it.
Oh, like a.
Yeah, just go ahead and give me a boots. Give me a rhythm with cats and boots.
Okay.
Give me a rhythm.
Cats.
Kind of give me
boots,
something.
Cat, boots, cat, boots, cat.
Speed it up a bit. Keep it a little faster.
Cat, boots, cats and boots.
Faster.
Cats and boots.
Let's make it more hip hop. Get it like we're going in the club.
Okay.
Get some faster rhythm going.
Boots, cat, boots, boots, boots,
Keep going.
cat, boots, 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 boot,
We're welcoming you all to a new breakthrough. Introducing you all to a brand new crew. Gonna make you dance while we rock your minds. This beat ain't mine, it's all of mankind. Warning, leave you permanently scarred. The beat's gonna hit you fast and hard. Dropping down lyrics, think I'm fighting. Step up, shut up, get struck by lightning.
Hey, look,
how's that?
There you go. Now that was spitting right there. I couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up. You dropped it. Look, if you would have told me you was going to rap because I messed you up, you tried to catch my beat and I wasn't doing it that well right
I
there.
was trying to catch your beat. That's
Yeah,
cool.
but you did it though. But like lyrically wise though, you was there. You was there lyrically wise. I wanted to shut up and listen to the lyrics. I know people listen like, why don't you shut the hell up, Keith? So we hear what he's saying, right?
Well,
But
see,
yeah,
that's it. When you that's part of what capella kind of is when you can, when two people can come together, or three or four, or multiples, and they can actually, make a rhythm or a noise, like a beat, like if I wanted to do a bass, it'd be like, so I could just do like a bass drum, right?
yeah.
And then someone like you coming in going, and then we have a chick singing over us. And all we're
Yeah.
doing is, making all the music, all the band noises, or all the instrumentals with that. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, you got look now. Now look, now I could bang on the table. Now I could bang on the table, and make a good old beat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's not acapella. Acapella is doing everything vocally.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is no instrument. So none of us, when you hear like acapella, if you like jump online and go, let me see, Pentatonics or Urban Method or any of those guys, and you look at their stuff. Like the first acapella group, Pentatonics won the Grammys last year for the first acapella song, for the first acapella group.
Yeah.
Okay, they were the first time acapella winners at the Grammys, and their video, a Daft Punk remix. And if you watch the video and you see all the noise they made with their vocals, it blows you away when you watch that video. You're just like, what the hell happened here? What?
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, they're legit. They can spit it.
Wow.
And when you see that, then you know why they won the Grammys with what they did. Because you can see it. And all that music, everything they do, that's Daft Punk, because it's a mega mix. It's kind of a mashup of Daft Punk stuff. When you see what they did and you kind of look at what they're doing and you watch, all the people and what they're doing with their mouths and how they're vocalizing the instrument, and you see that,
Right.
you just kind of, it blows you away. It's like, wow.
Yeah. That's
oh
all.
my God.
Right. And then you sit back. Right. And that's what it's come to these days. Is some really talented people and some unique ways of creating music. I mean, you see people doing it like you said, a cappella, or it got to the point where people could do it with cups. I've seen some crazy things being done, but it's it's the evolution. It's a wonderful thing. What you gonna do if y'all doing a show one day and somebody come up and want to sign y'all? Then you gonna not be acting on it.
I don't know. We'll sit down and talk as a group and talk to our agents and managers and decide what they want to do.
Then we look.
It depends.
Hey, Matt might not want to hear that, Brett.
Yeah, well, I'll talk to Matt. You know that. I'm not going to just sign.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That's what's up.
But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's just, it's fun. Right now, it's something fun to do, and I like doing it, and I have a great time doing it. And, I enjoy it, and sometimes live performances come up, and I'll go do them or whatever, and,
How do they keep, I think how do people keep up, man? Listen, it seems like you live an example. I really kind of like the life that you live, because you live an example life of a person who gets up, gets out, goes and does things. You're taking in all these different angles, just so many different things to do. That's got to keep you young, fresh, and happy at the same time. Keeps you vibrant, keeps you going. You know what I mean? Because some people are stagnated, Brett.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big deal. Now, before we go, because we're getting close to time, but let's talk about this stand-up, because I've seen your stand-up, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And once or twice I thought you was going to offend somebody, which is good. Don't get me wrong, it was all in good comedy. But my point is, you're gutsy. You're not afraid to go up there and just kind of make the people interact with you or interact with the people. How do you come up with your jokes? Is it natural? Obviously.
How do you come up with jokes? I don't know. I observe people, and I kind of, things that are funny to me, I just, I write things down. I make fun of things a lot.
Yeah.
Because I make fun of things a lot, but I make fun of myself more. So I'm more of the...
Me too.
If I find it funny, then it's going to be funny.
Yeah, I kind of do that
Does that make
myself.
sense?
Yeah, I know
And
exactly.
so, I mean, I do a lot of jokes that some people would be like, they wouldn't do it because it makes fun of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm that guy that's like, hey, if I can make fun of myself, that gives me an automatic right to make fun of you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I guess that's kind of how I do it. I make fun of myself more than I do others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? And that's cool too. That's that natural comedy side effect. Because I'm the same way. Me, I mean, you're probably good at being funny both ways. Me, I'm not. I'm not outward funny. You know, I might not crack a joke that the whole room's gonna laugh at if it's about something else. But yes, I can make fun of myself and it really be funny. The only problem with that is sometimes when you do that, people don't think that I'm funny. They just think I'm a moron. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, the cool thing about what I do when I tell jokes and when I'm stand-up, I haven't done stand-up in about a year and a half because I've been busy with, acting and stuff like that. But when I used to do stand-up, is I saw that a joke wasn't going to take. Like, I get, and everyone's, like, looking at me stupid, and I'm going, okay. I might make a comment about, well, should I dumb these down, or was that, like, just over everyone's head, or was that just real stupid?
Right.
Because, I'm the person to tell you I just got off my Tourette's medicine, so I'm not really sure if we're, like, on the same wavelength or nothing. So maybe I can take some more shrooms and kind of get on you guys' wave, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I just kind of laugh off, like, something like that. And I usually then you start getting people laughing at you because you're making fun of yourself and them a little bit. And
Yeah.
And you dumb things down. I mean, you could, worst case scenario, and I hate to admit it, but if I have a lost audience, I start telling dick jokes, and all of a sudden they're caught up again, and they're like, sorry, and you're like, really?
You know
it was
what?
the penis humor that did it. Okay.
Yeah, because everybody nobody wants to sit quiet on that joke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to act like they understood that one. Yeah, because
but there are certain jokes that I do that I think are, I expect a certain reaction from them. Like, I don't expect people to laugh at all my jokes. I expect, like, when I tell my Amy Winehouse joke, I expect the,
right, yeah, like, no, he didn't.
That's what I want, because that's what I'm going for, is that kind of response, because that joke warrants that.
I saw one of your...
I mean, that's really, yeah.
You know what, yeah, because I saw one of your, I looked one day, I was watching stand-up, and I saw this one thing you said, and I don't even know if I could say it, because you've done it before, but I saw this one scenario, huh?
What'd I say?
When you said you were asking the guy when did they have sex, when did him and his wife first have sex.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love that one.
You know where I'm going, right? I was like, no, he
did.
didn't. And he was like, and he says, you asked me because if you had sex, so how was she? And she was like, she was great or phenomenal, whatever he said. And you were like,
It's funny because when I tell that joke, the whole idea of setting that joke up, it looks like that joke's going one specific direction. And it's the direction of the woman's going to look at the guy and go, yeah, how,
exactly.
Kind of like, what you going to say? I'm sitting right next to you. What you going to say now?
Oh.
And not even knowing that the real joke's going to land right in her lap.
Oh, man.
Okay? Because I'm setting that's a setup joke. So I'm setting him up to not take the fall, but it's going to be her that takes the fall because I'm gonna lay it out on her.
You know what?
At the end of that one, he's like, she was amazing. Oh my God! And then I look at her and I go, well, how do you think she got that way? And don't lie to me because I see the stretch marks on your mouth.
You know what? That killed them. And you know what? I thought that I had you figured out 70% on that one, and you just let me know that I didn't because I said that too. I go, man, that was crazy. Like he crushed him. And I was thinking crushed him because you talking about damn, you talking about the guy's wife. But now I see the real point, just like you said. The woman's like, hey, you better say the right thing. Da-da-da. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I'm not, I'm the, I want to say it, but I don't want to say it, right? Like, but yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I like that one. I had to bring that one up, man. So I guess that's a way to kind of draw the people in, because after that, they're definitely listening. They're paying attention. You got them after something like that. Has anybody ever got mad with you?
They got mad at me?
Well, you didn't know, probably, I guess.
Not really, I don't think.
Well, yeah, because I guess now it's not like it used to be where people didn't know how to take a joke. I guess now everybody should know how to take a joke. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and know
Yeah,
the difference
I
in
don't think
comedy.
no one's ever really gotten mad at me.
You
But I don't
said,
really, if they do, I
but you
don't
don't
really
care,
care.
right? Right. Yeah, in that profession, you can't care.
Yeah, I mean, come to a comedy store, you're gonna get like lit up on. So I mean, that's your own fault.
Right. I always worried about that, man. I always said I never want to go to the comedy show, but I'm different. I don't really care. I don't mind, pick on me. But that used to be one of my worst fears. Go to the show, comedy show, and be the guy that gets picked on in the front row. Because comedians are good at finding stuff that is like wrong that wasn't even wrong when you got there.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of pointing stuff out and making it funny. But so Brett, what's the nearest project that we can look forward to coming from you?
Well, coming out of Canada is an amazing experience for me, and I have now been set up to produce and act in, star in, over the next 7 years, about 20 features. I have TV shows that are in the works right now, and we're actually funding a bunch of those and putting them together, and so Mangled Angels is definitely one to keep an eye out for. There's two others. One's called Malevolent, which is going to be coming out soon. Another one, Overtime, is another one I got picked up for. Actually, I'm signing the contract for those this week. We're working on a Western movie. We're trying to get the last minute stuff so we can go into pre-production for that.
Okay.
So next year, you're probably looking 1 to 2 TV shows and maybe 5 features over the next year, because I have 7 years to do 20 feature films with 4 different production companies and distributors.
Oh yeah, you got your work is there for you. That's cut out.
Yeah, it took a long time to get to that point where I could do that, and now we're at that point.
Man, that's a good
yeah,
feeling.
my life's starting. I think it's getting exciting now.
All right, if you say so. I think it's already been pretty. But you know what though, man? Again, it's good that you can say that at this point, because maybe now you're winding down. At the same time, it's kind of not slowing down. You're doing what you want to do, and so I think that's good, man. Hey,
yeah, I don't know about winding down, but
we're not
definitely
winding.
my life is taking that new direction. So I mean, it's definitely
Yeah.
it's definitely having
Yeah.
I don't know the word for it. It's definitely changing. My life is definitely changing.
Right. I couldn't figure it out either, but hey, because now let me ask you this before you get ready to go, because I'm gonna tell you to do some shout outs if you want, and let everybody know where they can find you on social media. One more question. You do a lot of exciting stuff. You're an adventure guy. You're creative. Will you ever bungee jump?
Would I ever bungee jump?
Yep.
No, I would not bungee jump, and it's not because, I'm an adrenaline junkie to begin with, so let me clarify that with, yes, I will go jump out of an aircraft, but I won't bungee jump, and the reason I won't bungee jump is mainly because of the damage it can do to your spinal cord when you snap back. I would rather jump out of an aircraft
Yeah. Okay,
and
so
parachute down and skydive than have my spinal cord, jerked back and forth on a bungee cord. So,
right. And again,
mainly that's it. I'd rather skydive than bungee jump. So no, I won't bungee jump. Yes, I'll skydive.
and again, look, and let that be an example, people, of why this guy is so exciting yet has so many degrees, because he obviously he still stops to use his brain. All right.
Well, I try.
All right. All right. Listen, Brett. Any shout outs? First of all.
Well, I'd like to shout out to Best Actress Estefania Revon, who, God since took that short. She took Best Actress. She's amazing. She's awesome, and I enjoyed working with her. She was a ton of fun and amazing on set. basically my team, Hillary, my publicist, Matt, my manager, Mike, my agent. Without you three, I don't know where my life would be. It's kind of all crazy. Adrian Janine, who is going to be in Tough Love with me when we get that finished, so that'll be a fun project, and I can't wait for that. And then, of course, all my family and friends that have supported and helped me and been there for me. T.W. Reed, who, by the way, is the new Bruce Wayne on the new Batman Beyond TV miniseries. And, you know, my aunt, my uncle, my cousins, my brothers, my mom and grandmother who are no longer with us but are watching in California, I'm sure. But the biggest shout out I think I have to is my fans. Because without you guys, I'm not working and I'm not doing anything to help you guys enjoy. So I'm not doing anything that you guys would enjoy doing. So thank you to all my fans.
I know that's right, and I'm sure they thank you also. Now let everybody know where they can find you, you know, on the social media, the Facebooks or the Twitter.
I'm on Twitter at Brett Hunt, Facebook, Brett Hunt Fan. My Instagram is Brett MH. What else I got? The website is, my website actually is down for the next week because we're actually doing a huge upgrade to the website. So you guys at TheBrettHunt.com. Enjoy it, or wait 2 weeks to see the new website. So if you were on the old one, you're going to see the big, huge changes. I mean, there's some major. We actually hired someone to come in and really revamp the whole thing. So I'm really excited about the new website. So when it goes up, you guys see it. But you can still reach me at TheBrettHunt.com. So my email still works on that. So the website's down for the upgrade. But yeah, I mean, my Facebook and you know, you can reach me on Twitter. I'm a big tweet. I'll tweet. So yeah.
Okay.
That's about it.
Right, and we'll
look out for Mangled Angels. We're going to be doing a lot of promotion, and don't forget when that fan page goes out for Mangled Angels, it should be launching here in the next couple of weeks or so. Go and like the page, enjoy it. You'll see updates, you'll see things, and you know, obviously, you know, we're going to have some shout-outs, and maybe the Prophet, our angel maker, will come on and chat with you guys for a while too.
Hey, so. I'm looking forward to that right there. That's going to be exciting. Yeah. Him and I have a good conversation. A great. I'm try to get all I can out of it. Listen, Brett. Listen, it's been an honor, man. I want to congratulate you on all your success, and of course, wish you much more success. Blessings to your family and your whole team and everybody out there, man. Look, just keep.
Appreciate it.
Look, keep doing your thing, guy. You know, you're an example. You're an example of a full schedule life for a guy. You know, people need to get out and take on as many challenges and do all that they can. So again, we, you know, commend you for that. You know, you're welcome right here on the show. Consider it home. And we look forward to everything. Listen, everybody out there listening all across the land, in case you may have tuned in a little late, don't forget that you can catch this full conversation between Brett Hunt and myself right here on the Keith Harris Show in full later on social media, so you can go back, play back, catch up with anything you missed, catch the websites, and all the other interesting conversation that we have. All right, don't forget to check Brett out on the IMDb page as well. Check him out on the IMDb and the website. Hit the Facebook and the Twitter and all of that. Brett, keep doing your thing, man, and look, I hope to be I will be talking to you soon, as a matter of fact. So, you know.
Okay.
Make it happen, bro. And we'll be talking, Brett.
All right, guys.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye. Everybody out there all across the land, that was Maine, man. Brett Hunt, actor. I can't even call it. Look, he's an actor, but he's doing everything. He does everything. You hear how many things. Actor, director, musician, rapper. Shoot, I don't know. I should just call him life sampler, you know, because he just does so many things. Takes in a lot of different experiences, and that's good. That's healthy, and that's great. So we commend him for that. All right. Thank you for tuning into the Keith Harris Show. I am your host, Keith Harris. I'll be talking to you soon.